Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome back to the stream. It's me, DIGI Driver, welcoming you on your Saturday, June 8th, 2024. Again, unless you're overseas, in which case, happy Sunday to you. I am back and prepared for a quality wings up in the 788, and I am preparing for departure. I am going to be flying out of Little Rock to Orlando this afternoon and maybe sneaking in a quick bunch of scenery development once I'm in the air at cruise. It depends. I mean, this is going to be a relatively quick op. So I am not sure if it's going to be possible for me to do much dev when I'm in the air, depending on the length of time that I'm in cruise. But I'm going to go ahead and get the plane prepped for departure, and we should be on our way momentarily. Today, we're going to be taking 246 passengers with cargo to sunny or, I don't know, cloudy, rainy Orlando. I haven't checked the weather, but I can check it really fast in charts, which I will do probably shortly. I'm just going to go, I'm looking through my briefing right now to get numbers for our departure, which I'm going to plug into the aircraft, and we'll see whether or not I get any sounds. I think, I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think the way you get sounds, like, cabin sounds and all that inside of the Quality Wings plane when you are flying it in P3D is if you, I guess, pre-flight outside the sim. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I have sometimes had the sounds from the plane actually, start up or sound nice. I'm checking, but I don't know if there's anything here that actually takes care of the whew, sounds inside the plane. Don't need the sunshade right now, but let's go ahead and get going on the dispatch. Today I'm going to be taking roughly 74,700 pounds of fuel. And the payload weight is going to be 56,600 pounds. So we've got fuel and we've got cargo. Zero fuel weight is between the estimated and maximum weights. So let's see, fuel tanks, business economy. Oh, no. We're not taking. Yeah, we're absolutely maxed out here. That's still not full up, but that's what it is. It's interesting how the payload weight is different. Oh, welcome aboard Coffee Cup Arcade. Glad to see you. Happy for your recent acquisition. Happier to see you on chat. Grab a seat. I think we still have a few in business class for you, and we're going to fly to Orlando today in P3D. I'm not sure how many sounds I'm going to get out of the Quality Wings 787, but I like flying this thing in P3D anyway. So whether or not it's incredibly immersive, we'll do our best. Let's see. I think I'm going to stick with the numbers that we have for actual payload, and it is what it is. So that's it. Once you have what you need, I think the rest of the sim loading or processing is pretty good. Also, I want to make sure that I get my panel lighting going. We're doing some cargo loading right now, then we should be out of Little Rock shortly. Let me get that's a lot better, overhead lighting on. Not overhead lighting, but panel lighting. And I will get back to the screen. Of course you are. Where are my manners? And speaking of which, folks, if you don't know Coffee Cup Arcade, he's a friend of the channel and somebody that I've hung out with on his streams in the past. He does stream gameplay and demo scene occasionally, so go check his channel if you're curious. Now, we've got dispatch set. I need to set up my performance. So we're going to set up Little Rock, Arkansas, and we're going to search Clinton National. We're going to be taking off on runway 22 left, and conditions are dry. Winds are currently, let's find out what the winds are. Winds are currently 220 at 11. 220. No. Backspace, please. 220 at 11. Outside air temperature is 34. It's a hot day. And the QNH is currently 2984. There we go. Thank you, friend. I totally understand. I totally get you. Thrust rating for departure out of Little Rock. This airport looks a little small, but if I take a look at the runways, they should probably be more than adequate for us. So give me a moment. Okay, just show me the chart then. That's fine. 22 left is 8,251 feet. So it's going to be a little short. We're probably going to do, I'm going to say optimum, which is probably going to be full on takeoff thrust. Flap config, we might do flaps 15 just to be safe. Takeoff weight right now. What do I have for takeoff weight? Let me take a look at my dispatch. I think 399,741 pounds. All right. I don't know what the CG calculation is going to be. I think the computer is going to calculate that for me. So we've got our numbers, and I believe we're done with cargo load. So let's go ahead and close those cargo doors on the other side as well. Right about there. This spot right here. Open cargo during flight. Not suggested. Not a good idea in general. And it looks like all the doors outside at this point are closed. Flight attendants will probably be on this slide shortly. So, meanwhile, let's see. Should I arm landing data? Well, let's do it right now if we can. We're going to Orlando. It's going to be about 2 hours and 10 minutes total block time, not counting my run-up right now. So let's pick Orlando. I believe we're going to be choosing runway 17 left. And let's take a look at the weather conditions for Orlando right now. Currently, we have winds variable at 5. Clouds scattered, but no rain that I can tell. Humidity is 42%, so conditions are going to be dry. Winds are going to be variable at 5. So I'm going to say 180 at 5. And temperature is 36. Wow. Current QNH is 2988. Cat config, we're probably going to go manual. And flap config, I'm going to assume flaps 25 because unless I'm mistaken, the runway is 9,000 feet. Yeah, flaps 25 should be fine. It should be. I've got like 2/3 of the runway to slow down to take the high-speed taxiway at Foxtrot, cross the bridge, and then go to either airside 4 or airside 3. And then anti-ice is probably going to be off. Reverse config, I'd say no credit. Spoiler config auto. Brakes, I'm probably going to go, let me hide the keyboard. I'm probably going to go auto brake 3 at least. Landing weight. I don't know enough, but I'm probably going to say we're going to be somewhere around 370,000 pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. VREF at 5. So if my numbers are correct, auto brake 3 will be off the runway in 7,341 feet. So just to make sure, I'm going to increase my auto brake to 4. And that should give me enough to exit the runway by Foxtrot. Okay. Now that we're done, I'm going to send the output to FMC, and now we can get started with prepping the computers. So right here we go. All right, NFREF cruise altitude is going to be 41410, and my controls down here don't have the, you know, funky lighting that I like. So hold on, I'll fix that. Lower panel, that's better. Oh, really? Nothing? It has been a while since I've used this. I think I have to look down here. That's better. That'll do. Okay, fuel 74.7, right? Yes, reserves, I'm looking at 44. And cost of the next for today's flight is going to be 57. This is not the super duper ultra fast 787-900 or 10. This is probably going to get us a max of Mach 0.86 during cruise if we want to push it. But considering the flight time is like probably going to be less than 2 hours, I'm not worried about that. Probably an hour and a half, to be honest. So let's see. Thrust, we'll do takeoff, and same thing for climb. I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to set flaps 15 for our departure. And let's see what CG is going to be. It's going to be 6. So I need to set my trim. There we go. Trim is now set. And those are my numbers, 133, 135 for rotate, 144 for V2. And let's get the route going. We're going to start from Little Rock, and we will work our way down to Orlando. There is a way to load the flight plan into the computer, if you save a file, but I sometimes like arming the flight plan from scratch, and we're going to be American 197. And that should be fine. Departure out of Little Rock, there isn't really a departure of any kind. And the arrival is going to be the Grinch 5 for 17 left. So let's see what the transition is. ZJ. And what is the ILS approach? I have to see that. Let me take a look. ILS approach is going to be... Oh, wow. That took a while to load. 17 left, 17 left, 17 left. 14 approaches available. We're going to take the 17 left, and I think Bosch. No, I think we're going to take Keiki because it's the closest to actually staying on the approach. Okay, so right after Yaga, we're going to go direct Keiki and then MCO. So we'll take Keiki, and that should do it. And is there a reason why? Is there a reason why this isn't executing? There we go. Activate, execute. We've definitely got enough fuel reserves, so I'm not sure why it's complaining. But cruise altitude, I guess it got reset. I don't know why. 410. And now pre-flight's complete. So all I got to do now is check my flight plan and check. We're going to be going from the airport to, looks like Presk. Where's Presk? No, we're going to go direct to Mickey, Mike India, Charlie Kilo Echo. So I'm not sure. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is the approach. Keiki, Cedo. Okay, I see. Okay. There's no departure. There's no, I guess, altitude information out of Little Rock. So I have to plug in the waypoints. So we're really going manual here. Mickey up at the top, and then we're going to go direct to, I believe, Victor Uniform Zulu, which is Vulcan or Birmingham. Hey, Sim, Mr. Egan, thanks for the 100 bits and welcome aboard, my friend. Happy to have you. I am flying in prepared today, and we're going to do a bit of an old school flight down to Orlando because I like playing with P3D still. I like using it for the sake of simulating an aircraft flight. And this is going to take us straight to ZJ, and that should be the entire flight. So I think we're good at this point. We've got our performance numbers down, so we should be fine. And now we have thrust, but apparently we are missing numbers here again. I don't know why. That is a little strange. Maybe I need to update something. Hi, Sim, Mr. Egan. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you. Grab a seat in business class. I hear there are a few left. And I think that's all I need to do. Again, I'm not sure why my performance numbers went away, so there we go. There we go. The performance numbers stuck around and we still have our trim set, so I'm fine with that, I should say. And that's it. En route map. Here it is. There's our flight for today. Range, a little bit over an hour. Actually, a little bit over an hour and a half. Now, we're ready to go. We're on the ground, but for some reason my spoilers are up. So let's go ahead and put them away. And parking brakes are set. Let's go ahead and start the APU. Oh, before I do that, let me check my systems. System info. Doors are all closed, slides armed. We have set the flight deck and cabin temperatures to 68 degrees. I like my passengers cold and compliant. Fuel and hydraulics are offline right now. We'll get them started shortly along with the APU, so the APU is not coming up. We have good pressure on our tires, and brake temp, I believe, is good. And I think we're okay. So we'll leave this alone for now. Go back to ND. I will also set up traffic alerts and weather on both of these. And of course, we'll go down to the center console here and make sure our stuff's ready to go. Let me pick the transponder. 2257 is set. That's what I want it to be anyway. Go back to the menu and we will pick our nav information. Next page. This is where I put in my nav information for the approach. We're going to be coming into 17 left today, and the ILS frequency is 110.905. And the course is going to be 185. Okay, and that will change over time, so I'm not worried about it. I will leave transponder info down here, and I'm not worried about radio since I'm not using them for today. Let's go ahead and lock the door, get ready to go. And before we depart, let's take a look at, oh, that's right, there is no departure, so I'm going to go right up to 250 for departing airspeed, and I think we can take this all the way up to 410 for a departure climb. And arm the throttles, get the flight directors on, and hit the B button because I'm nice and lazy, but we will get the baro mins checked. Those are radio. That's radio altimeter. I don't think there's rain, but I'm going to go ahead and set the decision height automatically. Decision height's going to be 240 feet, so I will choose baro mins. And we will take 240 feet for our arrival in Orlando. And now that that's done, I can go ahead and check my range on my ND here. And that's about it. Let's also get our range set here. This is 80 nautical miles. It's not bad. Okay, now we're good. So I'm going to hit the beacon light, and we're going to go ahead and start up the APU. APU is coming on, and we have no sound for the cabin. I'd like to see that actually working. I'm going to boost the environment sounds a bit. The cockpit sound is already like 2/3 all the way up. I'll bring in a little bit more engine noise, and that should be it. Beacon lights coming on. And let's go ahead and do a pushback. So to get out of here, I'm going to be departing on 22 left, which means I can push back tail facing northwest. Basically, tail right, nose left. So that should be what I pick. Prepare for pushback and departure. And I should have volume for that. I should. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Do we have the APU running?
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
APU's 100% plus. We'll take the external power away. We'll get rid of wheel chuck since we're on parking brakes.
Checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Yeah, half cargo doors closed. We're good. Let's get underway, gang. Let's get underway.
Locking gear.
All right. Nose left, tail right.
Release parking brakes,
Can do.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, the clock is going on, and am I going to get a pushback? Yes, here we go. All right, superb. Let's get engine number 2 started right now. Looking for anywhere between 15 to 20% N2, and we're already there. So let's go ahead and give it some fuel. Ah, there's that reassuring sound. 50% N2, I'm going to go ahead and start up engine number 1. All right, great. Let's get engine number 1 going. Flight control should be coming up shortly.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Okay, looks like both engines are good.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
And while they're unlocking, let's go ahead and do a flight controls check. Full left. Full right. Full forward. Full back.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Thank you. Flight controls check. Fuel is running. TCAS is now... should be TARA at this point. Yep. Take care, my friend. All right, so to get out of here, we're going to be taxiing straight ahead to uniform, left on Romeo, all the way down to 22 left. Let's set flaps. Flaps 15. Fuel low center. Fuel low center because there is no fuel in the center. Let's go ahead and turn those pumps off. And get my taxi lights on. Or were they? Oh. There we go. That should be it. Let's release the parking brakes and get underway. Welcome aboard, everybody, leaving a partly cloudy Little Rock, Arkansas, as we go out to Orlando this afternoon. Flight time's probably going to be about an hour, and I want to say 35 minutes. So I'm cool with that. I am debating installing or buying Rex Skyforce if I'm going to keep flying on P3D like I have been, because the default clouds are great. I just wish the bloom wasn't so intense. But the formations and stuff, and the use of the sprites to really make the sky look like it does on a typical day, it is nice. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like it. We are clipping along. That's better. 19 knots as opposed to what, the 30 knots I accidentally got on the ground roll? That's funny. But welcome aboard, everybody. I'm going to be debating whether or not I'm going to do any scenery dev once I get up in the air. This might be a somewhat short stream today, just with one flight. I might not do any scenery dev at all. I'm kind of happy to be just flying right now, and I think I want to do some more dev, but I'm just not pushing it. Okay, pretty much nothing else to do at this point except get ready for departure, so I'll get my landing lights on, taxi light off, strobe light on, and wing lights on. APU is currently running, so I'll make sure I get that shut off. All right, I also don't see any incoming traffic. I will double check to make sure that we actually do have traffic turned on, because I do like seeing planes in the sky and on the ground, but I'm also not expecting much at the moment. I'll set the parking brake on and just make sure my traffic options are on. So let's just make sure. Traffic, yeah, 25% airline traffic intensity. I could probably make it even 35. That would be cool. And let's just make sure nobody's here. Nope. All right. So we should be set at this point, folks. Let's go ahead and ding the cabin crew one more time. Flight attendant seats for departure. And MCP is set for 410. We've got departure speed at 250. And we'll set the departure heading to 227. And that should be fine. Flight directors are on, auto throttle is armed, and that should be everything. Nope, no incoming traffic. So let's go ahead and release the parking brake and get out of here. Okay, old scenery, so there's a little bit of bleed through for, I guess, the satellite scenery installed under it. Not sure why, not really worried about it. It's been a while since I've checked these sceneries for bleed through issues, so I'm not going to worry about it. We should be set. Let me check. Yeah, strobe on, landing lights on. Oh, right. Arm RTO, and let's go. Engine stable. Let's go. Airspeed's alive. 80 knots. Thrust set. V1 and rotate. Alright, definitely positive rate of climb. We'll gear up. Flaps 5. We'll hand fly it for now. Go flaps 2. Or 1, excuse me. And we'll go flaps up. Just about 30 degrees. Solid. Beautiful Arkansas countryside. And now we'll head roughly due east-southeast. And we are 5,000 feet. Let's go ahead and hit the autopilot button. LNAV and VNAV. Yep, doing pretty good. Climbing 3,100 feet per minute plus. And we are essentially unrestricted at this point to 410. Alright, let's do a little bit of cleanup. Flaps are up. We'll get that nose light off. Strobe lights on. And bing bong, let's go. Anything that I'm missing up here? We've got window heats going. Hydraulics, auto. We'll get our cargo fires armed. And that's about it. Looks like we've got somebody just above us at 34,000 feet. United from Mexico City. An A320. Where are they going? To Chicago. Won't be able to see much, but I do see their contrail. That's nice. Sogan, welcome aboard, friend. Happy to have you. Appreciate you paying a visit today. Thank you so much. Feel free to grab a seat in business class. We are well on our way to Orlando today. I'm flying none other than the beautiful Quality Wings 787-800 in the American Airlines livery. Let's go ahead and turn the sound down a little bit. Take a look outside real fast. one of my favorite planes to fly in all of Flight Sim. I mean, this is only beat by the 757 in terms of cool factor for me. Nice, congratulations. Or that's probably something you did a while ago, in which case, still, that's cool. We're past 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn those landing lights off. And that's about it. I'm happy. RTO is off at this point, and we are cruising. Believe it or not, top of climb's coming up incredibly quick. Wait, does that even make sense? An hour and 37 minutes to destination. That's cool. I'm happy with that. Went from Texas to Orlando to Michigan. Interesting. Speaking of interesting, let's just make sure there's nothing funky going on with the weather. No weather to speak of. Outside temperature 14, and we are at standard pressure. So let's hit the standard button. We're pretty cool. Ah, man, I'm happy. I don't know. I never thought I would have been happy to fly through two-dimensional sprite clouds like I am now, but I'm still a big fan of Prepared, and just the how it ruled the roost for a long time. I'm uh I'm pleased to be flying it this afternoon, and I think it's just going to be a one flight for me. Whether or not I'm going to be doing scenery development today during cruise, I'm not sure. I probably will do some later offline, but again, it's not something I'm terrifically worried about. I'm just trying to chill my brain. I I don't know. I feel like I had a mini therapy session last night. I did a late stream with American Truck Sim, and we did a little flight in Microsoft Flight Sim as well. But at the same time, I was quite happy to just tune out for a while. So I'm enjoying myself a little today. Definitely. That's better. Nice wing view. Can I actually apply a color filter? I don't know, but I'm also not terribly worried about it. I'll definitely let the sim be, as opposed to just freaking out about that stuff. Yeah, yeah, no joke. Top of climb's gonna be in about what, 10 minutes? That's kind of crazy. We do have a roughly 27 knot tailwind. Slap some reshade on it. That's not a bad idea, actually. I don't know. Can I at least do something with my NVIDIA card? Nope, it won't let me. Supported game is required, so it won't actually let me apply a filter with my graphics card. At least not from the UI. I could probably get around it by doing something with my monitor display, but then you guys wouldn't see it. So, such is life. To be perfectly honest, I almost feel like hitting the 2x button and getting there in half the time. Have you ever had those days when you're just like flying in a sim and you're like you're a big time fan, you like prepping your plane, you like doing all the things, but you get to a point where you're like, all right, come on, let's get this over with. It's not that I don't want a flight sim, it's that sometimes the appeal of other things, it just paints it in a different light. One of my friends um talked about this. They were sometimes you get the joysticks out, you get the sim set up, you get your flight plan prepped, you get your you get your thing ready to go, and then you're like, you step in, you sit down, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to do this right now. I do like flying, don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes there's this awkward moment where you're like, eh, I don't want to wait another 40 minutes for top of drop. I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling entitled today. Usually when crossing the Pacific Ocean, it's cool, but so you understand. Um, I forget if it was a fighter pilot that said it. I think I read this quote back in the days of like Falcon 3.0 for DOS. They said flying a fighter jet is hours of boredom punctuated by moments of sheer terror. But flight sim isn't like that. Unless I'm flying the unless I'm flying a plane that throws a random failure at me like, huh. But I feel like just being honest about it. Somebody that used to watch stream said people's tastes change. The things you initially liked or that you used to like as an individual, sometimes you wake up one day and you're like, I don't like this anymore. Or I like it, but I don't know. Can't this be like better or different? I'm happy that I still enjoy prepared, knowing full well that volumetric clouds, I mean, I can turn on the volumetric clouds in the sim. It's just that sometimes I feel like the volumetric clouds are in a better representation. I mean, even if they were, if they could at least be true sky volumetrics, no matter how jagged they looked, they would at least be different. This is why I like using two-dimensional sprites still in P3D. There's variety in here that's understated, if not blown out for blue. Exactly, ups and downs, ups and downs. If you're, you know, and what is it like? If you fly, if you're out there alone, like you're a sitting duck for a squadron, but if you even hook up with one other friendly, if it's a stranger or just somebody like a marine flying an F-18 or like some like an even if it's just like a navy plane or something like that. Once you're a flight of two, then your odds I think of survival increase dramatically or something like that. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Flight sim, of course, is usually different, but that's why I sometimes sort up my traffic because I like seeing traffic cross my line of sight. I like looking at different planes and seeing what the world looks like. With that said, though, I mean, this is still crazy good. Um, the scenery is this is synthetic imagery through Orbex Land Class North America, and I think I've got some scenery that loads in like right under my plane. But I mean, yeah, there's like tinges of things that repeat themselves, but all in all, I usually don't have a problem with synthetic scenery in P3D because it's been engineered to look good. I mean, I definitely like my ortho scenery in X-Plane. Do not get me wrong. And MSFS, of course, is the scenery there is loaded. Satellite imagery, unless you turn, I think you have to turn like Bing Maps off and photogrammetry off to see synthetics. Exactly, exactly. Having the extra person there for motivation, I think like makes all the difference. And that's at least of what I've heard from stories. Oof, I'm tired. I stayed up ridiculously late last night. Clearly, I was expecting that to some part, but I slept well. Woke up this morning, made breakfast, sat down with Mrs. DIGI after doing a little bit of cleaning up around the house, and now I've got this flight and probably some dinner, maybe some leftover pizza, and then some tea and dessert, and then maybe some scenery dev while I check out some flight sim streamers or watch a movie of some kind. But happy to be here, happy to be chilling, happy to be catching up with everybody in chat. And if you're lurking, don't worry about it. If you don't feel like saying hello, but you like being a part of the stream, happy to have you here. You guys boost the algorithm, like I like to say. So thank you. I don't have any delusions of trying to be the the next great flight sim streamer. I'm just I'm happy to be in a fake plane flying to a destination that I've flown to for a long time that I've enjoyed. Speaking of travel, I'm trying to do or wrap up some projects so I can get some disposable income for maybe a trip this summer or this fall. I've heard that New England is fantastic for fall foliage. I might do that to go visit some friends and to check out places I haven't been to. This end of year sometime, I'm going to be going to, one of my favorite places in the world again with family. So I'm looking forward to that. And then maybe spring or summer of next year, I'll take a cruise with Mrs. TG or a trip to hopefully this time Flight Sim Expo. Unfortunately, the last few times I tried, financial difficulties have kept me from going. Hope, hope they can get a chance to go this year, this next year, not this year, but next year, and hang out with everybody and say hello. Meanwhile, I do have some projects that I want to finish or get underway. Almost all of them involve flight sim scenery creation. And in general, I want to rest my brain. I thought about what I do. Hybrid camera sounds interesting and cool. I actually took in some YouTube videos last night. Um, by the way, so good, great video on Taiwan. And I watched a couple of videos from Adam Savage, and he talked about some things about I think his experience in answering questions from other people that really made me pay attention, particularly to points that I was making last night when I was hanging out with a few other friends in chat while I was in the truck sim. I kind of know what I want to be when I grow up, and I kind of don't. Anybody that hangs around with me long enough, especially in Studio Connect's stream, knows that I want to be as good as one or more scenery developers that are out there. The difficulty that I have is parting my time effectively and also having the motivation that I want to have to be able to do it. But realistically, there's only one answer to that point, that question. I have to be the one that makes those things happen. Like I have to be the one that decides that I am going to go for it, that I'm going to do the thing. And, literally, it's on me. So I get it. It's like it's a personal decision, but it's also, I think, energy management. I mean, you understand this based on your exposure to military documentaries that you create and that I'm sure you consume, Sogan. But at the same time, practically, it's as true in dogfighting as it is in life. Like, there's got to be good energy management going on, or you're going to get into trouble really fast. And I I wonder about stuff like that because I I really am trying to get some things done and to really come into a new season of progress and do cool stuff. But one of the things that really smacked me across the face last night was just the commonality of what so many of us are facing in terms of working and living and doing things and just in general um living life and just having a hard time doing it. Like, I know I'm not the only one that's working longer hours and trying to manage their time and get in shape and do all the things that they should and want to do. It was eye-opening, and it was a welcome reminder to me that, like, in one sense we're kind of all in this together. We're all out there trying to make it happen so hard. And in one sense, it's a reminder to me, like, hey, dude, you're not the only one facing that difficulty right now. Exactly, exactly. It's a your response is extremely well worded and flows so smoothly. But yeah, exactly. Planes are sluggish when there's low energy. I mean, whether you're flying a GA plane or an F-16, I like the F-16 extensively because it's this, unique, interesting design. It's got one of the best man, speed to maneuverability, I guess, ratios in the business, and it's designed for um dogfighting. That's an A321. I wonder what is it. It's an American. Sweet. It's coming. Hold on. It's gonna come through. There it is. That's neat. No. And the thing is, I feel like I feel like the more I own up to understanding, hey, dude, you can't do everything in one day. You have to let your brain rest. You have to let your body rest. You have to let your mind rest. You have to give yourself permission to just be. The more I feel comfortable with understanding, pushing myself to my breaking point and pushing myself to the point where I'm trying the best I can and staying within my limits, is better. Yes, sometimes in life you have to go hero. There's no way around it. It's impossible to avoid. But in general, even heroes break down. Two-faced disc, my friend. It is a privilege having you aboard again. Dude, to hang out with you twice in this one weekend, I'm blessed. So do I. I still wish that they would have brought it to MSFS. I do. I do. I really wish they would have actually done something with it. Does anybody know what happened with Quality Wings? I've got this kind of like, big question mark in my head. Did they completely go vaporware and they just folded and went away from the scene and just took their money and left? Or are they still around and just being extremely quiet? I'm guessing that they're either quiet or they're gone. I don't think there's any other possibility for them. Um, I mean, on the other hand, FS Labs has probably been just about as quiet, except for the fact that they released the Concorde for P3D V5, what, last year? Last summer? Or last fall? Or this winter? So yeah. Yeah, I think they're vaporware too. I think they're gone. When MSEP told me that some months back, I was like, what? But I think it's what happened. I think so. I think Quality Wings probably has their side up to, still allow legacy sales. I mean, sheesh, P3D is a business product. So I could probably buy the 757 from them for like about $10 and figure out how to hack it so it runs on P3D V5 and be happy with it. They actually didn't renew their business license. Wow. Wow. That's incredible. I think about stuff like that, and it makes me wonder about life and just how quick and how transitory and how fast stuff, I don't know, happens. And like, we all get to places where it's like, oh, I'll get around to it when I get around to it. Dude, I blinked. I'm not that young anymore. somebody somebody that I care about is going to be celebrating a milestone pretty soon, and I'm just like, I remember when I was carrying them around, and it's just like, wow. um I have a point of view that possibly some people might disagree with, and that's okay. If I had the chance to try flying Captain Sim products from P3D, I might not turn them down automatically on principle. Do I think I'm going to buy products that they're currently selling for the MSFS platform that don't cater to my desires as a flight sim pilot, or that don't present me with a successful experience? Probably not. But I also kind of don't know. I know one thing: it's not my job to judge a company. I'm too busy with my life right now. And there's things that I want to do. If I had money to buy an airliner right now, strange enough that I'm being passed by an Envoy Embraer 175, I might actually buy the FSS Embraer. So it's like, hot take, buckle up. Well, okay. Um, is it possible that I missed out on the chance to fly a 767 over the past few years? No, because I can always go to flightsim.to and download the freeware 767. Would it have been technically possible for me to buy the Captain Sim 767 and fly it? I could easily go buy that right now if I want to. But hey, I'm not going to lie. If your company is operating on principles that are less than desirable and you're doing things which the general public notices as no bueno, it's not going to make you a desirable purchase. So, you know, if I know a company engages in business practices that are not good, they're probably not going to get any of my money. But there's still some people they employ. So it's like, do you punish an entire company because whoever it is that's actually calling the shots is calling bad shots, but they still have occasionally good products? It's a difficult question to answer, but I'll put it to you flat out. If brand X sold beef jerky and I absolutely knew that the executive, the CEO and the CTO and the CFO all rob banks for a living, am I going to give them my money? No, I'm not going to. That's kind of, to me, that's a level of common sense that I live my life by. But if a company whose business practices I occasionally disagree with, but in general made good things, had a going out of business sale, then I might pick up one or two of their products before they bite the dust. The Bluebird 757, on the other hand, I'm looking forward to that. Also, the Synaptic Simulations Airbus A220 got snapped up, I think either by Just Flight or by somebody else, so it is going to be a payware product as well, and I have no problem with that at all. Because freeware is a labor of love, and it does take time and it does take effort, and these people have to keep putting food on the table somehow. Yeah. It has been a while since I've flown a 757, and I do have it for X-Plane 12 right now. I can fly it today, tonight, whenever. But I joke about this, but this is kind of true. I'm a recovering study level flight sim pilot. I still like the idea of emulating the, you know, close to entire experience of flying an aircraft, but I'm not, I'm not, you know, sweeping my panels for faults or for issues with the engine. I'm not, you know, double checking my controls or double checking for any kinds of uh, indications on top. I'm not reading my, Part 191 or whatever you call it, Part 143 books while I'm in cruise to brush up on things for my next review. There's a level of flight simming that I've gotten accustomed to over the past year and a half, and I'm really comfy there. There was a time when I would literally spend 45 minutes to an hour pre-flighting the flight factor 757 because I was doing a legitimate flight from, I don't know where, I think Jacksonville to Miami. And it was enjoyable and it was what I was focused on. It it got to a point though where I was just like, because I was doing so many things and because my job responsibilities were getting more and more intense, some of that stuff started getting crowded out. Like when you get to a point where you as an individual start feeling the pressure of making sure you deliver on things in all aspects of life, you start to find that the the things that are optional start falling by the wayside. Even the things that you think are important, but your actions show they're optional. I agree. I agree. You really shouldn't be alienating your customers. You shouldn't be putting them in a place where they have to go um and taking a long time to think about making a decision about buying your product. You should be taking care of your customers as much as possible. And even then, when you're operating at your best, somebody might say, they're great, but I want something new. And then they go buy your competitor product. But at least at that point, you're not, what am I trying to say? You're not giving them reason to walk away. And believe me when I say this, if you like pre-flighting your virtual aircraft, like if you're going to buy a rep pack for the default Cessna 172 and X-Plane 12, and you're going to practice like you're actually flying the plane for real because you have a real pilot's license, a private pilot's license, psh, all the power to you. I am not judging. My story, if I got to the point where I was going to give a private pilot's license a fair shot, I would probably start changing my habits to be focused on or to involve more realistic flying, the kind of flying that I would probably wind up doing as an individual. My streams would probably change from flying airliners to flying GA way more. And I think it would rub off on me like, hey, I'm going to start doing study level flights more with GA aircraft. Right now, I'm not. So if you're doing a study level pilot thing, hats off to you. Like, I'm very happy for you, and I have no qualms with whatever you do. Let's see, who are you? That's another American, an A321. Nice. Also, in one sense, this I kind of touched on this a little when I was doing American Truck Sim last night. The difference between picking standard freight jobs versus external market jobs on from World of Trucks is that when you pick a World of Trucks delivery, you're electronically limited in terms of speed on your truck. You can't go very fast, but at the same time, it's giving you, points, not points that you can cash in for stuff, but I'm saying you accomplish World of Trucks jobs, and it kind of gives you a different sense of satisfaction. So if I do a World of Trucks job that makes me drive a little bit slower to get to where I'm going in the sim, that's fine. Let me check real fast. We are probably about 40 minutes away from top of drop. So let me actually get my approach data set. Flaps 25 is going to be around 150 to 155 knots. where I put the plane. I think I like that. That's cool. And what is going to be the approach altitude for for the final approach fix? It's going to be 1,500 feet. So let me go ahead and set up 1,500 feet on the MCP. And when we begin our descent, it should follow restrictions down to the ground. So let me actually get that restriction data up on the center panel. It should. What was it that I was thinking about a while back? I forget. I was thinking about older computer games because I'm something of a retro gamer. There have been one or two streams I've done where I haven't even played DOS games, but played around with the Amiga because I have two platforms that I can use to play Amiga games, and one of them is called Amiga Forever, and the other one's called Amiga Vision. And there were, bunches and bunches of games that I never actually played on that platform because I never had an Amiga, but Mrs. DG had a Commodore 64. So she's played some games that I haven't played, and I actually played them, and we've had, some interesting conversations about the old games that she used to play. But also, you can count P3D as a classic game because it's not something a lot of folks use anymore. The popularity has since faded out in favor of, MSFS and the newer iteration of X-Plane. So this is a bit of a classic. I think X-Plane 11 was even, well, no, it slots in between P3D and X-Plane 12 and MSFS because X-Plane 11 was like the last one before my latest work with it, and X-Plane 12 runs, it gives my system much more of a break as opposed to X-Plane 11 and its performance requirements. But let me switch my range here, and that's what, 320? Yes, it is. So top of drop is going to be literally in about 25, maybe 30 minutes. And we're going pretty quick. We've got a 30 knot tailwind, roughly 30 knots. And what's the ground speed right now? Ground speed is 510 knots. That's pretty fast. Mostly, I think I've just started giving myself permission to just process life. There have been many times where I've come up short. Like when you're having fun, hey, sometimes you don't get all the mission objectives in the first go or after a few times. It's different when like you're having difficulty getting stuff done at work. It's different when you're having difficulty communicating with certain people or you're actually trying to get things done in life and they're challenging. And I'm giving myself more and more and more permission to just be like, you're doing your best. You're doing the absolute best you can. My problem is that sometimes the tasks that I have to accomplish are really, really challenging. So sometimes the question I ask myself is, do I do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to keep going down the road that I'm going down in terms of my career, or do I want to change up what I do? I'm not gonna lie, it gets a little scary every once in a while because I'm trying to figure out how to keep pace with what I'm doing right now, and it's difficult. But it's also a choice. Like I can choose to spend more time studying and less time goofing off, or I can choose to not goof off, but make a conscious decision to rest and to enjoy certain time and to enjoy time with family and to enjoy time with friends and to stop looking over my shoulder going, maybe I should be doing this now. It's like, no, no, no. Relax. It's okay to hop in the flight sim. It's okay to not touch Blender or the SDK for a little while. It's okay to just sip a small sip of wine or two and just be like, hey, let me sit down with you. Let me be present. One of my biggest problems as an individual is that I often put myself in a place where it's just like, oh no, no, I'm busy. I can't talk. It's like, really? How old are you? You need to make a conscious effort. That's my life right now. If I sound like a broken record, it's because I am. But I am grateful for the Lord God's patience and forbearance with me and people in my life. The thing that's gotten my attention more and more lately, the older I get, is that there have been people in my life that I've had to say bye to. And those moments usually educate me like nothing else. It's important for us, especially in the day and age in which we live in right now, to be patient and empathetic with each other, and also give each other space. And I don't know, maybe sometimes that space has to be permanent for a while or permanent forever. And if people look at me and they say, hey, I don't like you anymore, I just don't find any point in being friends with you and I want to move on. Like, what am I going to say? Why? No, don't go away. Stay my friend. I can say that. And sometimes I can say, hey, it was nice knowing you. I wish you well. Because, like I said, I have been so busy that I have literally had moments where I had no energy, no energy to deal with a particular situation. The public has spoken. Oh, my word. That's funny. Kappa. Oh, my word. Thank you. Thank you. That was necessary. Okay. Sorting my files. I'm going to give you a little bit more insight into my process right now. Like there was a point where I could do my job, wrap up, come home, like freshen up, eat dinner, and then that would still give me energy to to do some of the things that I was working on because I wasn't thinking that much about what I was doing after I got back. I might have been a little bit tired from going to the gym and driving home, but that was a different kind of tired. Like that's the kind of tired you shake off after, drinking some water and like eating dinner, taking a shower, stuff like that. These days, like I said before, I spent 10, 11, 12, once in a while, even longer hours than that in front of a computer screen for my company, for my job. And it's like, there's a level of brain fried that you get to where you're like, Where am I? What time is it? Like, do I even have the strength to click on the mouse right now?" That's what I've been wrestling with the past couple months. It's okay to relax. Currently not. That reminds me of the running joke I used to have. Um, whenever a VATSIM controller would clear me for the visual approach for an airport, I would say, "Clear for the visual, American 107," and then tune my ILS anyway. And a real world pilot, actually said something that caught my attention. They said, "Hey, when you're flying a visual approach in real life, there are so many factors that you can use to bypass the need for an instrument landing system. It's okay to use an ILS to back up your visual approach in the sim because there's certain reference points or certain things like, you know, motion and kinetics that are not working with you to get you on the ground." Which is it's kind of funny, but it's also pretty insightful. So, how does somebody like me do better? How do I get from just talking about what I want to do to doing more of it? Well, okay, let's put it out there. A little bit of a impromptu business development session. If I wanted to go from doing this and doing scenery development as a fun hobby to doing this as a business, hopefully, a business that I can pour everything into because it's something I believe in. How do I do that? Well, I would have to prioritize certain things way more, and I would have to deprioritize certain things that I do way more of less. And no, deprioritizing sleep is a bad idea. I've tried that. It sucks. I've I've done all the all-nighters I will ever do, probably, hopefully, as long as I don't have any other family emergencies that require me to spend a night in the hospital. Which actually, the last time that happened was last year. I had to take Miss Digi to the ER. I forget what for, but we were there, I want to say about 4, 5 hours, maybe 6. It was, I think, literally light out when I got home and I hit the pillow. What, what a sleep. So, you know. Um, but there's just certain things that I'm just not going to be able to do much more of anymore. And in one sense, that's a good thing because if you don't have time to second guess yourself because you want it all the time that you can get your hands on to do what you want to do or to do something different, then that means that you're not going to be spending time second guessing yourself, which means you're not going to be spending energy second guessing yourself, which means you're going to have more energy. At least that's my understanding, my guess. That's what I hope happens. That's what I hope happens. I hope to get to a better place where I can do more of that soon. Where is top of drop? Top of drop is less than 160 nautical miles. It's coming up pretty quick. Pretty quick. Can I get any other data besides miscellaneous data? I don't think so. Oh, also, Why are we descending now? No, we don't have to descend right now. Oh, wow. Well, that's interesting. Huh. Nope. I've got the plan. All right. Roller coaster ride. Hmm. I wonder what happened. Autopilot disconnect? What for? That's interesting because I don't remember touching any of the flight controls. Next, next you're going to say you need to eat. Like, come on, Digi. Seriously? That's nuts. I don't know. That's a little weird. I wonder. Yeah, the strange thing is, I don't remember hitting any kind of descent of any kind. That's weird. That's weird. Bizarro, but I guess I'll keep it at 4-1, flight level 400. But now I'm actually flying with westbound traffic, so that's not going to work. Can we go up to 41,000 feet? Yeah, let's get back up there. It's an interesting conversation, and it's funny, but there are places where you work where, I don't know, your lack of a status update might actually be construed as you failing to keep certain people apprised of your status, like, or your availability for something. So I don't know. Ooh, look at that. Is the autopilot going nuts, or am I incorrect here? Ooh. Ooh, remember how we were talking about random failures? I don't know, gang. This could be one of them. I mean, not to mention the fact that we had like a 60-degree bank about a minute and a half ago, and we lost like 10,000 feet in 30 seconds. So I would have to imagine the cabin crew and the passengers are on edge. It's a sim. Um, and barring any issues, I think most people are probably well apprised of the get the bucket. No, well, I don't have any plans to kick it anytime soon. So, I'm just talking about, air sickness bags, in which case they probably would have been deployed. To say nothing of oxygen masks. But there's no ECAM message about cabin depressurization, so I think we're okay. Hmm. But that's interesting. What do I want to do with the rest of today? I tell you what, after this flight, I'm probably gonna maybe watch a replay and then head on out to the kitchen, check up on Mrs. Digi, maybe cook some dinner, and then figure out what else I can do. I'm I'm legit serious in one sense. Like, I have been driving myself. Oh, Battlefield 3. Oh my word. That's interesting. Um the funny thing is I'm literally footstep, like I'm like 10 paces away from the bathroom. So so I'm okay there. So I'm good. It's just the wall away. That's funny. That's actually pretty funny. Yeah, yeah, I think the autopilot temporarily wigged out. I literally do not recall actually messing with the flight controls, although I guess I did. But pfft, who cares? It's just the same. Oh, he said that. No, it's okay. It's okay. Um, I look forward to arriving in Orlando and then figuring out, I don't know, what's next? What's coming up? A pump. Oh my word. Huh. Actually, strangely enough, in terms of first-person shooters, guess what I played late last night? You're probably going to guess, and you're probably not going to get it. So I'll just tell you flat out. I reinstalled Half-Life, and I tried playing the old Half-Life uplink demo. My word, that was nostalgia. It took me all the way back to just younger years when I was still under one roof with my family. I'm debating whether or not I want to play Half-Life on stream. I mean, I like a little bit of variety in my content, but at the same time, that conversation we had earlier about me actually starting a business up, it's, you know, conflicting goals. So, like, playing old games versus launching a business, it's going to be a thing. My story with Half-Life is pretty interesting. Or, excuse me. No, 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 no. My story with Half-Life is interesting. I'm not sure if it's pretty interesting, but I played through Half-Life 1. I played the first thing for Half-Life 2. I don't remember if I actually played through the whole thing. I think I stopped somewhere just before the game actually finished. Oh, before I went up to the big building. And somewhere between trying my hand at Half-Life 2 and seeing what happened with Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2, and how Episode 3 just still hasn't been released. Half-Life 2 Alex is like episode, you know, 1.5 or something, or like zero point 0.5 or 2.5. They haven't released it yet. The episodic rot kind of set in for me, and I was like, eh, I don't know. I don't know that I want to keep going. But it had my attention for a while. Um, it was something that I came back to as a way of just kind of like spending time, you know, looking at story and kind of enjoying the trip back in time. These days, Half-Life Black Mesa is basically Half-Life 1 with the Half-Life 2 graphics engine. But I played Half-Life 1 with the enhanced version of the old engine, the first engine. So it was definitely an experience. It still is. Is it something that I want to keep playing? I don't know. Well, I can't argue with your logic. Um, Shooting sponges until you expend a certain amount of hit points on them, and then they basically disappear. So it's it breaks down to this kind of like, programming analogy. Well, I mean, the engine, you're looking at, you've kind of neoed the matrix and broken it down to, running around shooting sponges, running around shooting sponges, running around doing a puzzle, shooting sponges. Half-Life has a story that just unravels in front of you, as opposed to having breaks in the action with cutscenes where you literally don't do anything. You're in the middle of the cutscene as it's happening, which is interesting in one sense. I keep saying interesting. Do I mean attention grabbing? Or do I mean it's interesting as in it's not something that I'm going to pay a lot of attention to? But that's some of the stuff that I grew up being exposed to. I I stopped directly playing, for example, Halo games after Halo 2. I didn't buy Halo 3. This is part of an earlier conversation from many streams back. Like, my appreciation for console games basically tanked once I realized that the and this was about 10 years ago or more, when I realized the stuff that they were selling on the shelves. It was like, episodic cranking out, iterative cranking out of franchises over and over and over again. I'm like, I can spend my money better. So I stopped spending my money on that. Halo 2 was definitely an epic. I saw people play Halo 3 online in terms of me watching video cutscenes of it. Yeah, like I got to a point where I stepped off the bus and I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna go a different way. Thank you. That's just me. If you want to keep playing console games and you're okay with the way AAA console games are right now, that's your choice. I more easily spend time in front of a screen looking at stuff like this. So, is what it is. I thought it was before, but I guess it is now. So, if there was anything that I think I was going to spend my time doing in terms of playing video games, I would probably double down on curating some great classic titles. Like going back to the era of MS-DOS gaming between, I want to say, 1988 to literally 1995, and seeing the kinds of games that I could find and play through in that time frame. I was what was I playing before that I wanted to find out more about? Oh, no, no, no. I was having a conversation, I think, with Coffee Cup Arcade, if you're still on, by the way, CCA, where we talked about things like the classic consoles, like how the Commodore 64 was remastered 3 years ago, and they don't sell them anymore, and how Nintendo Classic came out, and I think the Genesis Classic and the Amiga Mini and the TurboGrafx 16 Mini or whatever that was. And I told him, I said, hey, wouldn't it be great if you could have somebody recreate a period era 486 or Pentium PC with a specific version of DOS and the games from that time period on it. You know, licensing restrictions, I don't care about them, but if somebody came out with that and created that that era computer, that's the thing that would turn my head. To return to that era, to that time frame, to revisit some of the classic games that I played that were challenging back then. That would get my attention. That would. Okay, let me take a look at the map and get ready for our arrival. I mean, we're already on the Grinch 5. I'm on my way to Elite, and we're going to be at top of descent in about 10 nautical miles. And, okay, now I can set my altitude and prep for VNAV. Thank you so much to everybody that's tuned in today and that's stuck around with me as we left Little Rock and flew down to Orlando. We are already in the Grinch 5 arrival, and we should be descending literally shortly, if not immediately. We will probably be on the ground in another 25 to 30 minutes. Usually approach, once we start descending, happens fast. Especially when you've been flying and doing any kind of medium to long haul. Once you hit top of drop, everything just kind of comes through quick. And that's pretty close to top of drop for me. So let's go ahead and hit the VNAV button and start getting down. And once I get close to the top of drop, I guess inside my circle, we'll probably see that indicator that says when I start to descend. Let's go ahead and set auto brake 4 and arm the spoilers. Spoilers are armed. And that's it. There we go, we just crossed. Oof, man. Sounds like you're slogging it out, Sogan. Hopefully it's working out for you. Let me take a screenshot. That's good enough. save that in my pictures folder for later. I'm happy with that. So we're landing 17 left. So essentially we're kind of coming straight in. We've been flying now for about the past, I want to say 80 minutes, so almost hour and a half flight. So yeah, yeah, I'd say we're a little bit early. I feel like file management is something that once you get done, you get this reprieve where you can actually do work better. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Winds are 220 at 6 at Orlando right now. So it's still favoring a southbound landing. The altimeter is 2987. 2987. Let's get that tuned. Altimeter is set. Exactly. Exactly. And believe me, I do my bit of housework. So cleaning is an analogy that applies really well to me. Oof. I know golden hour is like right after the sun sets, but in terms of flight sim arrivals, you're not going to get more of a golden hour than like around sunset. This is beautiful. What's it looking like outside my place right now? Let me see. Mm-mm-mm. Where's my app? Where's my app? It's over here. Take a look at my app. Oh, looking pretty sunsetty right now. Oof, man. I might have to take a quick little walk once I'm done. Yeah, not gonna lie, I really wish I was on my way to Orlando right now, but at the same time, I'm happy that I'm not going down there during summer. I'm way happier to go in wintertime. In fact, I used to, but I don't. I I don't do nearly enough. I don't do nearly enough walking. Ooh, rogue plane. Hold on. Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, because of chase plane. Who you? You look like. Oh, check you out. A seven. No, a Delta. I thought it was a United 737, but it's a Delta. There we go. Just that the. Oh wow! Now we're now we're really seeing planes. That's superb. Southwest. Cool beans. I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy with this approach. Let me pay attention to radar though. Why isn't the radar showing me traffic? Did I not choose it? Or is my range too short? That's 20 nautical miles. I should have seen the plane by now. Eh. Just have to use the old eyeballs. Such is life. So we're leaving 30,000 feet and we are continuing down. I'm happy. I had like mostly cloudy skies to breaking through the clouds to getting to mostly clear skies to clear skies to coming back into mostly cloudy skies. And if I took a wild guess, I'd say we have some storm systems around here. Let me do a weather overlay. Yes, IRL weather does show rain, um, almost due north of the airport, and there is some rain in the vicinity, so is what it is. And that sun does look like it's dipping more and more in the sky. It's starting to get darker and darker out. And we are leaving the Mach number airspace, so we're getting down to indicated airspeed in knots. Oh, the doors are closed, by the way. The aft cargo door thing, that's a bug. Plenty of traffic now. JetBlue, is that an A321? Must be. Oh, it's an A320 flying from Cancun to JFK. Yeah, I guess they've got the range for it. That's pretty neat. I don't know. I do feel sometimes like, life gets to a point where you just need to, I guess, not talk about stuff you want to do so much and just go do it. I guess that's where I am. I'm certainly not discounting the difficulty of life right now. Maybe 25 minutes. Okay. No, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, Sogan. I mean, if I was in any position to influence anyone's buying decisions, I would say this much. It's a simple decision tree. Choice one, do I have to go into debt to buy this? If yes, don't buy it. Choice two, if I don't have to go into debt to buy this and I have the cash, do I have to have it right now? If I don't have to have it right now, then say no. Sit on your money for at least a week and then ask yourself the same question again. If the answer at that point is yes, then yeah, probably. Side note, if you're like, but I don't know if I want to buy it right now versus later, there's two schools of thought. You're either going to time it really well and buy it at a steep discount, or you're not going to time it that well and you're going to buy it when you need it and you're going to use it well. I wouldn't freak out about trying to save as much money as you can. If you really want to do that, make the market come to you. Don't buy it for a solid 6 months. And then when the newer platforms come along and that one starts falling in popularity, then you can say, okay, now I'm buying it. But I want it right now. I I got to a point in my life lately. Oh, there we go. There's the radar working. Let's go. I got to a point in my life where are they above me? No, they're below. They should be below me. I don't see them. That's bizarre. Let me check real fast. Oh no, there we go. There we go. Now I see them. There's a slight delay. Slight delay. KMCO to Kansas City. Interesting. So they're going the other way. Let me clean up my stuff. We're going to avoid vectors. We're going to go K key right after Yago. And that takes care of the whole thing. We are no longer standard pressure. And that's it. The past, I want to say the past year. Extend speed base is required. Okay. Unable to maintain speed. So we're going to need to slow down. All right, board meeting. Literally the past year has taught me there are things that I just don't need in my life right now. See, though, I hear something different out of you. You say, I want it right now. It sounds like what you're saying is, I could really do some amazing content with it right now, and it happens to be something that I want. That might change the conversation slightly. If you've got the money and you've got the opportunity and you're just wondering whether or not you should pounce on buying something, but you're ready to use it and you have use cases all set, then it might not be a bad idea for you to go and buy it right now. But I'm cautious about, I'm definitely not buying anything on credit right now. But I'm even cautious about buying stuff if I have the cash for it, because I just want to make sure I'm not buying something because I feel emotionally led to. This is me I'm talking about, not anybody else, by the way. Like, this is just me. Mad. That would potentially be some dope footage. But I think at the same time, I would also be asking myself, like, hey, what am I going to do with that? So, again, just me. Okay, I feel like the sim is loading in right now, so good times. Look at this. Wow. As if it couldn't get any cooler. Save that picture. Okay, so we're definitely loading in. I have Orbex Land Class North America, and I believe I also have Cityscape Orlando installed. So if I see a little bit of stuttering right now, there's a good reason why. Okay, so we are approaching the ILS. What do I need right now? I need to make sure that I'm fully prepped. We've got auto brake 4. Excuse me, it should be auto brake 4, not max. There we go, auto brake 4, seatbelts on. And now we're starting to slow down. So let's get ourselves prepped, grab the controls, and get ready to put this bird on the ground. We are under flaps up at this point. We're going to go flaps 1. Rearm the speed brakes because we don't need to be that slow. Excuse me. We don't need to keep them extended anymore. We might be just a bit past sunset, but we are looking good for our arrival. If I would have left like 30 minutes later after to take off out of Little Rock, I probably would have missed this. If I would have left 30 minutes earlier, I would have probably just started to see the colors get this orange after I parked at the gate. So I'm happy we are where we are. We've got localizer and glide slope, or at least we will. We're under 5 nautical miles. Pixel Penguin, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. You join us on the tail end of our flight as we prepare to arrive at Orlando International. We took off earlier from Little Rock, Arkansas. Clinton National Airport. We're flying the Quality Wings 787-800 in the American Airlines livery. Oh my word. Look at that. That's just dope. That's not going to get better than that, folks. Screenshot. Okay, now I think we can go approach mode. Pixel Penguin, that picture was cuckoo bananas. And let's go ahead and start. Oh, really? Second time you disconnected? No, you shouldn't disconnect. I didn't want to hit that button. Okay, we are localizer right now. Let's go flaps 5. Actually, we are flaps 5. And let's keep descending. We're on glide. What's final approach speed? I think I said 150. 151. Yeah, there we go. Roughly. I'm going to close some windows. And that will hopefully give me a little bit more room for the memory and the frame rate to catch back up. Okay, we're coming down. If we are not like 180 something knots by the time we get to our final approach fix, I'm going to drop landing gear, but we're close enough to the 1.8s. So I'm going to drop landing gear now. Gear down, flaps 15. Now we're bleeding airspeed. Let's go. We'll take flaps 20. There's downtown Orlando. Oh yeah, no question. This is definitely definitely a cityscape. The winds are variable, and honestly, they're still coming. Oh no, they're coming from the north now. I'm sorry, from the west, like just barely west northwest. So they're landing north now. That's okay. Don't see any traffic in front of us, and now we are flaps 25, so we're good. Okay, so we're probably going to go at the second high-speed exit down to airside 3 or airside 4. And let's go. Nose light on. And wing light on. Okay, so we're coming up at 1,000 feet. We have our airspeed set. Winds are coming in from the southwest now at 9er. So guess what? AI can complain all it wants to. I'm landing the right way. Looks like we are golden hour right now. Look at that. That's superb. Okay, right around 500, we're going to go ahead and take control. $500 my aircraft. And just like that, the lights came on. My throttles. $40, $30, $20, $10. Oof, we are floaty. There we go, and we're down. Reverse green, speed brakes up. 80 knots. Auto brake disarm. Welcome down, everybody. Welcome to Orlando International. Flaps are coming up. Take a quick peek. Get the auto brake stowed, and we are off at Foxtrot. Superb. Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy. So we're going to go right down Foxtrot, cross the bridge, come in past airside 4 and park at airside 3. I believe the heavy parking is the one I set up accordingly. And for some reason, it is pretty dark outside. But just like that, we have landed. I might check my terrain mesh because it looks a little a little clunky. But we're down. We're absolutely down. So let's see, with a half an hour block time of an hour and 50 minutes. So we're in about 20 minutes early, which is absolutely fantastic. Let me see. I think I'm going to go down Echo as opposed to Foxtrot. There is some traffic down here. Absolutely beautiful. We made it! Yes! I'm extremely happy that we did. Local time is 7:22 p.m. That beautiful twilight sky right now just looks absolutely phenomenal. Makes the trip all the more worth it. I wasn't necessarily trying to time the arrival for the sunset, but I'm happy that we took off when we did and that we didn't lose more time getting out of Arkansas. Now, let's clean up a bit. Strobes can come off. Runway turnoffs can come off. Same with landing lights. We just have the nose light and taxi light on. It should be enough. And I can start up the APU as well. APU gen should come on shortly. What's my schedule for this week going to be like? Busy. That much I know. Whether or not I'm going to accomplish precisely what it is that I'm trying to do, that's the adventure. But I certainly hope that I'm not going to have a massive problem with my schedule and everything that I have to do. With that said, I am definitely appreciating our arrival today and just our ability to get into Orlando this evening. I'm sorry that it's like almost ridiculously dark in the sim. The brightness levels here, I know why. The brightness levels in here are different because of the fact that we have this ground texture issue, because I'm not using the version of Taxi to Gate MCO for P3D V5. There's a version that's specifically configured for it, so it's definitely going to be brighter. You know, the textures are going to be better aligned. I've tried to play around with it a bit, but I might also just buy it because. Let's go this way. I'll have my soda to go, please. Certainly. I might either make myself some tea. I might make myself some tea, or I might make some soup, or grab some pizza. Not frozen pizza, actually have pizza. I guess it depends. I'll just go ahead and park up and then in the D board, and we'll see. Look at that. That's absolutely wonderful. This is the kind of weather that makes me think about going to, like, you know, Disney Springs, grabbing some great food and grabbing some great food and grabbing some great food and walking around for a while before going back to the resort. Okay. And this is the parking position that we set up specifically for heavies. Gate 58. Now, let's just see where we are. Not bad. I'll take that. I'll take that gladly. Thank you very much. All right. So, turn the wing lights off. And it's dark, so I don't think there'll be much to see on a replay. Although, if I'm going to do a replay, it better be now. So let me think. Do I want to? Why not? I did say I was going to, yes. So let's do views, analysis, instant replay. So about 10 minutes back would work. A bit much? Yes. Let's do 530 seconds instead. There we go. That's good. Pardon the stutteriness of the spot view, but I'm going to go to locked spot. Unfortunately, instant replay doesn't seem to take into account time, but hopefully you guys can see something. I'm hoping the landing lights do illuminate the ground, but again, that whole texture issue is going to make this very difficult to see. Excellent. Oh, also the issue with landing lights being aimed poorly. But not bad. We were pretty close to center line, so I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that, to be honest. So let's go ahead and park up. I believe the APU should be running at this point. So let's go ahead and shut her down. Okay, let's see. What's the thing for dome lights? Bam! Great. There we go. We're down, chat. Auto brake disarm. AP is off. We are good. Let's go ahead and deboard.
The boarding requested.
American Airlines. And I think the jetway should connect to our position. I hope. Does it? I thought it did. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Open the cargo doors. Cabin lighting. Bulk cargo. And there we go. That should take care of it. And let's go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. Ding dong. All right. Chat.
Passengers deboarding starting.
We're good. We're on the ground. This was an interesting flight. I appreciated it. I appreciate everybody that came along today. Thank you for being here. It is 7:30 p.m. at this point. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming now for about 2.5 hours. Not bad. Not bad. I'm happy. What's the volume like right now? It was quiet. Sorry about that. That's like a perennial problem with me. I'm like, I'm gonna lower the sound down now that we've taken off, and then promptly forget to put it back up when we arrive. So we have deboarded, and I think all we're doing now is actually just getting the cargo out. And that's about that. Again, it's not configured for V5, so I'm okay. And what lights do we have on right now? None. We should have wheel chocks on, and we should have external power. So let's put them both on, get external power operative, and now I can turn these off, turn the APU off, bleed that off, and that should be it. That's it, chat. my, my back shifted during flight. It's okay. All right. So you're looking at airside 3, and over here somewhere is the main terminal. The highway for the airport's a loop, and there is a tram going into the airside terminal, which is really cool. I'm a big fan. That's dope. So let me put a little bit of sunlight up in here. Time and season. Let's set it back to daytime. There we go. Now we can see things. Just one of my favorite destinations to visit in all of Flight Sim on a regular basis. Not gonna lie, it's just how it works. So it's one place I keep coming back to, irrespective of whatever's actually going on. I generally come back time and again, and this scenery is just a nice excuse to keep coming back. I mean, it probably is somewhat dated because I think the new international terminal is fully finished at this point. It was just being built back then. And yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here. Next stream is probably not going to be tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a few things, probably taking care of some work related things as well. And if I do streams during the week, there might just be microphone off scenery dev streams. That's assuming that I have the time and the headspace to accomplish them. But no matter where you guys find yourselves, thank you so much for saying hi, for stopping by, for hanging out on stream for a little bit. I apologize if my brain was just somewhere else at certain points and I didn't respond to all your messages. I hope that you have a great rest of your evening. Who can we say hello to? I haven't been rating that much as a general idea. Let me go ahead and actually give someone a raid tonight, assuming my computer allows me to. Oh my word, this is not good. It's okay. It's okay. Now, let's see. We have a few of us here. Let me go ahead and see who I can actually say hello to. Why don't we say hello to someone on stream? Unless, of course, my... Okay, there we go. My bandwidth was absolutely crummy, but that's okay. Let's see who I can say hi to. I think we're going to go raid Scotty to Hottie. So let me go ahead and set up the raid. Folks, have a great night. Like I always like to say at the end of the stream, if you don't have peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. May you be well taken care of this evening, and my prayer is that you rest well tonight and through the rest of your weekend. Until next time, my friends, stick around for the raid. We're going to go ahead and raid Scotty Dahati, and I hope that you have a great time on his stream. Feel free to spam emotes if you are a sub. Until next time, everybody, take care and much love to you all.